Okay, so I'd like to say a very well good morning to everyone, all the students, and of course I'd like to also welcome into our midst Professor Mosiri Odushola Sumono, the Department of Food Technology. We are pleased, honored, and privileged to have you in our midst. And of course, our convener, Dr. Nosirat A. Sadiku. I'd like to formally welcome you for bringing us to this place. For me, I will pretend that I don't know why we are here. So without much time wasting, I would like to invite the convener of this Speak on It Oratory Talks with the theme in the era of climate variability. I would like to invite the convener, Dr. Mrs. N.A. Sadiku, to come and tell us why we are here.
Good morning, Professor. Good morning from food engineering. I'm a faculty of engineering and engineering technology. I'm a professor from our department, Professor T. I really want to appreciate you for coming down, for making it. Thank you so much. And to the students that are having this contest today, thank you so much to all of you, particularly the contestants. I really appreciate your building support, all the sleeplessness, then the money you spent so far to make this a reality. And to our donors, thank you so much. We are supposed to have done this at the end of the contest, but I'm just so overwhelmed by your attitude towards this. Thank you so much. And the main reason why we are here is to test the skills that we have been taking through in the class, which is public speaking skills. I believe all of us, we can still remember what happened last week when a doctor Ife from Italy took people on public speaking, and also about 1.5 months or 2 months ago when you had the individual presentation. And it was through the individual presentation that got this. So those that those that their presentations were like very, very good. So they are the ones contesting today. So now pick the best presenter. That is the person that has the best presentation skills. That is what we are doing. So we have been doing the presentation skills every year, but this year we are taking it like a step further by having a public presentation in which the presenters will contest. So now let us pick who has the best presentations. That is just the main reason for being here. I would like to recognize the presence of Dr. S.Y. Alasian from Oratory and Mr. Yusuf, Olatiti Yusuf from Agricultural College. Placing this occasion with us. Thank you so much for coming around. So without wasting so much time, because we are far 1 hour behind schedule. So just get out to business. Thank you so much.
Of course, while she was doing that, we have 2 of our colleagues also working to brace the occasion. And that is the person of Dr. Asimi and Mr. Yusuf. Yes, please do that. Now, having said that, I think it is important before we move on to underscore the essence of this event, taking a key of what the convener has highlighted. we should ask ourselves that pertinent question. This is a program on oratory talk. So the question I ask myself is, why does a student need to develop his oratory prowess? Why does it matter? And I think I've also highlighted 5-6 reasons why it is important to develop your skill oratory wise. The first of them is the fact that if you develop your oratory prowess, it enhances your effective communication ability. There are two different things: to talk and to talk effectively. In fact, when we were growing up, like, we took a lot of courses in this area. Part of it include passing information to one another and seeing how information gets lost across media. So, the first important reason why you need to develop your oratory prowess is the fact that it enhances your ability to communicate effectively, and that is very, very important. Okay, when you develop your communication skill, it is a confidence booster. It enhances your confidence level, and it helps you to face audience and challenges. Then, which I think is more important, effective communication enhances your career advancement. So we will not say because we are teaching you forestry, then we should shun our attention to these other soft skills. If you know how to communicate effectively, you can speak your way to the top. And that is what some people have been able to do. Most of those people who write, two things: you know how to talk effectively, and you know how to write effectively. You can talk and write your way to the top. It's also important because it helps you in your critical thinking ability. It is not enough to just open your mouth. You must think. Some people talk before they think, but those other people who think before they talk are better off. So critical thinking ability is another benefit of oratory prowess. And of course, it's important for leadership. You can't be a good leader if you cannot communicate your idea. So good leaders are also visually endowed with good oratory ability. So, having said all of this, I want to believe that we have put the essence of our coming together in a context. So, from there, we can proceed further. And proceeding further means that we want to go into the context proper. I understand from the complainant that you have had some preliminaries, and it is the fallout of the preliminaries that has culminated into our final. This is the final. When you say grand finale, it's actually final. So we are here for the grand finale now, and we are going into the context proper. Professor Sumano is the chief scholar. Interestingly, you don't know him in a way. So, unlike me, I'm putting out bias. Just for your information, there are criteria. I should assume that you are aware. But in case you are not aware, we will be looking at your appearance, whether you are dressing sharply, you are dressing properly. And secondly, which is more important, what is the clarity of your speech? How able are you able to push across your message? Number 3, your confidence and composure. Are you fidgeting? Are you shaking? like shaky daddy, or you are composed. So we want to look at that. Number 4, how audible are you? How are you able to control your pitch? So I'm not going to be telling you to speak up. Whether you speak up or you speak low, it's going to reflect. That's point number 4. Point number 5, fluidity. How eloquent, how fluent are you? Okay? If you convey one point and pause for 1 minute, we want to see that. Number 6, are you able to utilize what they call body language, eye contact, emotional display, and all of those things. Number 7, persuasion. How persuasive is your presentation? Number 9, rhythm and time utilization.
And my fellow students, I will believe that you know with me that Africa is blessed with diversities of wildlife animals, and we have different of them in this Africa. We are so much blessed, and this will make me to speak on this topic, which is wildlife conservation and ecotourism, a game changer for national development. My name is Afolayin Esther, a 400 level student from the Department of Forest Resources Management, and I will be elaborating more on this topic, wildlife conservation and ecotourism, as a game changer for national development. As I said earlier, Africa is so much blessed with a lot of wildlife, wild animals. And I will believe that as a foresters here, we have a number of us. We all know that wildlife doesn't mean it's not limited to animals only. Wildlife consists of animals and plants, as I define in my next slide. So wildlife is any plant or animal that live in the wild, independent of human intervention. Wildlife, when we refer to wildlife, they mean animals that wildlife are animals. They can either be plants or animal. They are animals that are outside human control. They live independent of humanity. That is, we can't control them. The opposite of wildlife is domestic. So any animal that are domestic, they are the opposite of wildlife. Example of wildlife are reptiles, amphibians, and birds. And we have a number of them around us in protected area, zoos, and national parks. So wildlife conservation is the practice of protecting and managing wildlife species population to enhance natural resources. So what do I mean by this? I hope this slide I explained much better what wildlife is and wildlife conservation. Up to my next slide. So what is ecotourism? Ecotourism is the practice of traveling to different places that have this wildlife, that has this important and beautiful place, that has this important and beautiful organisms. So ecotourism is a practice, it is nature-oriented, and it involves traveling to beautiful places that hold all these wildlife animals. So they travel there to view them, to look at them, to learn from them, and up to my next slide, because of my time. Oh, my projector has messed up my slide. So let me just move on because I know what I'm saying. So wildlife, ecotourism involves traveling to natural places to visit all these wild animals, to see how they live, to look at the beauty that God has placed in those places. And I already said that Africa is blessed with so much of this wildlife. So as I said earlier, that as a result, like the definition of this topic, the reason why I'm standing here is to explain that this wildlife conservation and ecotourism is a game changer for national development. So we can see the benefit and impact of ecotourism. When they travel to these places, these are the beneficial impacts that we see there. It contributes to the economic diversity. We can see the ratio at which this ecotourism has contributed. They contribute to the potential to empower local communities. When they visit there, the local communities, they will be able to see the white people that comes to. Even when we travel, they will be able to interact with them. They will learn about our language. They will see the way we dress. They will see the way we interact with them, and they will be happy. So increase the level of education and activity among the travelers. So when we get there, we'll be able to learn more about them. Some of the animals that we've never seen before, we'll be able to see them and learn from them and see how beautiful they are and how that God has blessed us in Africa. So creation of job and additional income. You can see that this wildlife, this protected area and the place where they are kept, The people that are staying there, they pay them, and this serves as a creation of employment for them. And also, as a forester, I believe some of us will be going into the area of aspect of wildlife as our professor here studied. So when we go into the aspect of wildlife, we'll be able to have job opportunities in the future when we graduate. So nature conservation, we can see that all these colors, these are illustrated on the graph. The nature conservation, our health is so much important. When we conserve this wildlife, they help us prevent climate change. And as I said that wildlife is not limited to only animal. They also have plants. So these plants help us. One of the solutions to climate change is carbon sequestration. So this wildlife, when we conserve them, they help us to reduce the rate of climate change in our ecosystem, and we'll be able to live healthier. So challenges faced are habitat loss, climate change, poaching. As we said in the debate we had in the department, that we should put end to hunting of animals and consuming them as bush meat. So when we put an end to all this, we'll be able to have our wildlife healthier and prettier. So case study. There was a case study of all this. There are some countries that their wildlife, they made them develop, as this topic said. All right, so in conclusion.
There is no conclusion.
Thank you so much for listening.
It's try to ask.
My fellow colleagues, my name is Ali Joseph. My person to thank care as this is yesterday afternoon. We noticed the increase in the intensity of the sun, and this is as a result of changing climate. And this will lead me to my topic: building a resilient but sustainable biodiversity system and society in the face of changing climate. And we have the following outline: introduction, effects of climate change, and the how to build a sustainable biodiversity system, and my conclusion. What is biodiversity? This involves living organisms coming together to interact with one another and the environment. What is changing climate? Changing climate is mostly caused as a result of human activities and pollution, and leading to increase in temperature and weather condition. And this has led to a lot of effects, which I will not discuss about. Increase in temperature, like the increase in the weather condition house that I talked about earlier. Then reduction in rainfall quality. Rain is not falling as expected. Seasonal change has occurred. And this, even if the rain tends to fall, it's so heavy that it leads to drought and flood, like we had in July 10, 2011 in Lagos. The flood events that happened as a result of rising sea levels. And let's dive into the way we can build a sustainable biodiversity system. We have conservation and restoration of national habitats. Fine, the climate change has happened, but we don't have to leave it like that. We have to find a means to bring back this ecosystem together. We have to try our best to bring back the animals and plants that have been destroyed by planting back our trees again, practicing afforestation. And we also as well have to keep the animals from going into extinction. This is really going to help our ecosystem a lot. And I have sustainable land use planning and management. It's not all our fossil fuels that need to be burnt. It's not all our waste that we have to keep burning. Some have to be recycled. And it's really going to help our environment a whole lot. We have to practice climate smart agricultural practices. Let's practice irrigation system. Let's try to replant our trees, practice afforestation system. This is really going to help our ecosystem. I have the climate change mitigation and adaptation. Let's practice natural farming practices. Enough of all these chemicals we are using. It affects our soil and they return back to the atmosphere, causing damage to our ecosystem a whole lot and affecting our sustainable biodiversity system. Let's support international cooperation. We have COP since 2018. It happened yearly, and this year will happen November 23rd, last month. And it came about the conclusion that they will help poor countries with $300 billion in 2025. If this is really going to happen, it's really going to help our ecosystem, even Nigeria as a whole, because we don't tend to count this climate as something serious, even here. I also have education, awareness, and community engagement. This involves school. Another day always say, once a problem is known, it's half solved. We know that climate change is real. That's why we are here talking about it. Let's involve other schools. Let's tell them. Let's collaborate with secondary schools, university. This is climate change. It's real. Let's try to mitigate the effect. Let's support indigenous knowledge. Let's train these local people. Let's tell them that this is what is going on. This is how we can mitigate it. This is how we can control it. It's really going to help us a lot. Let's practice nursery. Let's have a nursery where we can replant our trees. Let's practice irrigation. Let's let these local communities know what is really going on. I also have my policy and governance framework. Let's have government, let them lay down, let them implement rules regarding climate change. It's really going to help our community a whole lot and help us to build sustainable biodiversity system. Let's support research. This from my pictorial reference here. These are Harrier State people, the community involved in climate change. These are those people standing there after their meeting. This is Donald Trump trying to eradicate the law that Barack Obama made during his own time. And I have my conclusion. Climate change is real. Let's join hands together. Let's take responsibility for our action. Let's help this coming generation. Let's save Nigeria and let's save our world. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be taking you through the global changing climate and the role of forest. Nowadays, climate change is recognized as the biggest problem we face in the world, posing potential threats to the environment and almost all aspects of human life. Climate change is in interaction with the natural ecosystems and almost all human engagement, including work, life, health, nutrition, and also general well-being. Now, let me dive into the effects of climate change. The first one here is rising global temperatures. It refers to the gradual increase of the average Earth surface over time and they are caused by human activities such as emission of greenhouse gases that are released into the atmosphere, trapping it and then causing global warming. Then the increased frequency of extreme weather events. When there is extreme weather events like drought, wildfires, storm, hurricane, and so many like this, they affect the life on planet. And also we have changes in precipitation. Precipitation like rain, snow, hail, and sleet. They also climate change. This also affects the effects. They are also a part of the effect of climate change. Then let me dive into the impact of climate change on forests. Increased risk of wildfires. Let's say for instance, human activities also cause this problem. When we go into camping to maybe like for fun, then people open a fire, which we all know as a campfire. Then this fire can attract the leaf litters on the floor. Then eventually, the forest breaks out of fire. Then changes in tree distribution and composition. Let's say for instance, when the tree is they do not get the proper nutrients they are supposed to be getting, and maybe the climate is not suitable for them, they move toward a higher altitude or latitude to find themselves a suitable climate. The next one we have here is forest as climate superheroes. What I mean by forest as climate superheroes, that is how the roles they take in mitigating climate change. The first one is carbon sequestration and storage, production of oxygen, regulation of water cycles, support for biodiversity. How do this carbon sequestration and storage, how does it mitigate our climate? When this let me move to the second one. Production of oxygen. The production of oxygen acts as a vital ecological process that let me say it's a vital ecological process that regulation of water cycle. When I say regulation of water cycle, this helps us to regulate. Forest help us to regulate the water cycles in our environment. Then support for biodiversity. How does the forest support for biodiversity? By providing variety of habitats for numerous terrestrial plants and animals. Then the next one we have here is, what are the roles we must play in sustainable management forest? First, we have to conserve. That is, let's reduce let's protect our forest from illegal logging. Then restore by replanting and restoring by replanting and restoring degraded landscape. Then innovation. Innovation in the sense that we have to bring something new out of this forest. The next one is international cooperation and climate. How the roles the worldwide have let me move to the next one. Together for greener planet. Every tree planted is a step towards climate stability. The best time to act was yesterday. The next best time is now. Then, in conclusion, forests play a vital role in mitigating climate change, and it is essential to protect and conserve them. Let's work together to promote sustainable forests, minimize deforestation, and support reforestation efforts. Thank you all.
Hey, my fellow students. My name is Olawale Finuke. Did you know that it takes that energy crisis is responsible for over 60% of our climate changing? Today, I'll be talking about this beautiful topic, energy crisis in the era of changing climate. What is energy crisis? This is a situation whereby the energy we have at hand is not enough for the energy we need. That is, the energy we need is increasing, it's exceeding the energy we have at hand. And we have this two beautiful pictures. We have an image of a wind turbine and a solar panel. When discussing about this beautiful topic, we have to make mention of those two because they serve as a solution. So the next one is energy demand and supply. What really causes our energy demand? What affects it? What causes? We have increasing in global population. When our population grows, then definitely our energy, we also demand for more energy. So therefore, causing energy crisis in our climate. We have rising energy consumption in developing countries. And we also have growing demand for electricity. When we have a developing country, so definitely we have to have electricity. We have to have good demand for our electricity. So we have climate change impact. We have rising temperature and heat waves. That is the impact of climate change in our ecosystem, in our system. We have rising temperature and heat waves. We have increased frequency and severity of extreme weather events like droughts. We have water scarcity and droughts. We also have the energy crisis, like when we focus more on one aspect in getting our energy, the crisis we eventually get at is, number one is insufficient energy supply to meet growing demand. Then it will be very, very difficult for our power sector to provide us the need for energy, the energy we need to meet our day-to-day activities, like for our transportation, electricity, and building of industries and so on. We have inefficient energy infrastructure. Yes, this also leads to the improper maintenance for our electricity, like our transformer line, outdated energy and all that. Also, we have high energy cost and price volatility. Yes, this also leads to fluctuation and often increase in our energy price, making it unaffordable for some individuals, for so many individuals, for so many industries, because the price is too high. Now we have the solution. The solution, a renewable energy solution. We have solar energy. Instead of us putting all our focus on fossil fuels, on getting our energy on fossil fuels, we can also make use of our solar energy. And we have this beautiful picture showing us where we can get our energy. For the solar energy, we have our solar panel. For the wind energy, we have our turbine wind. For the hydro energy, we can get our energy from water, moving water. And we also have geothermal energy, and this is getting of our energy from the earth core. And we're talking about the earth core. It is the central part of the planet, which is of two sides. We have the solid inner part and the liquid inner part. Moving on, we have energy efficiency and conservation. This is also talking about we improving energy efficiency in buildings and industry. Like, we should try to manage our energy. We should try to use our energy in a very way that is very, very useful for us. We're promoting energy efficient appliances and
and technology. That is also making use of this solar panel and making use of our wind turbine. We are encouraging behavioral change and energy conservation. That is, we should follow the policy of managing our energy. Now we have both people who are going to address the global energy crisis. We have individual actions. Whenever we know that we are not using our lights, this bulb, we should put it on so that we reserve our energy instead of wasting them. Government initiatives, we have technological innovations, we have community-led projects, we have international collaboration. So we have policy and regulatory framework, we have setting renewable energy targets and policy, implementing energy efficiency standards and regulations, encouraging investments in renewable energy and energy efficiency. So in conclusion, energy crisis in the era of climate change is a very, very delicate issue that really needs immediate attention. So I want us to work hand in hand to fight against this energy crisis so we can have a better energy for the future. Thank you.
My name is Brian Chidoguri, student of unilorin first classmates. So this morning I'll be talking on this topic of migration, the role of climate change. If you all look at this picture, you will see our brothers and sisters from Nigeria going to Libya through road. You see, they have their water in their jerrycan and all in the van, in the vehicle. But let tell you that this water and food they are carrying should finish before they get to Libya because it should take them like 2 to 3 days. On their way to Libya, a lot of things will happen. Most of them will fall down on the road, which the vehicle driver won't stop for them. So a lot of things are going to happen to them in desert. They are going to die. Some people, unless there's another car that has fault that stops in the desert, that's the only way they can leave the desert because there's no how they want to escape death in the desert. So back to my topic. So global migration refers to the movement of people from one country to another, often in search of better economic, social or political opportunities. We are all familiar with this word called Japa. Have you ever wondered why people are Japaning from Nigeria or why people are going to another country to search for better opportunity? Likely that it's because of our climate. It's because we're experiencing climate change in Nigeria. Don't worry, I will enlighten you more as I continue. So, type of global migration, geopolitical migration. This is when a person chooses to travel to like Jakarta, more herself without anything. The person is comfortable in Nigeria, but the person just choose like leave. So we have forced migration. This can be because of war or because of maybe trafficking. So we have internal migration. This is within your country. So causes of migration, causes of global migration, we have economic factors, conflict and violence, environmental factors, natural disaster, climate change. This is where comes my topic, climate change and environmental degradation. Then we have social and cultural factors. If you look at this picture very well, you will see this side, it is dry and it is cracked. Why? If you look at this other side, it is green, there's even butterfly here. Look at the hand of this person that is holding the tree. You can see that the hand is green. If you look at this hand, you can see it's cracked. Why is it cracked? Because of climate change. Everywhere is cracked because weather condition is not good enough for the plants and even the person to survive. Do you want this to happen? Do you want this to happen? Do you actually want this to happen? Do you think you can survive this? Do you think, okay, don't worry, I will let you know. If you can. So what's climate change? Climate change refers to the long-term warming of the planet due to an increase in average global temperature. So, causes of climate change, we have greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and other gases trapped heat in the atmosphere. So we have deforestation. As a forestry student, we all know what deforestation is. So, I don't think any one of us here should be into deforestation or planning to go into deforestation. I will not skip other ones because of my time. Then we have burning of fossil fuel. So consequences of climate change, we have food insecurities, we have human migration, we have economic impact. Food insecurity, Climate change impacts agricultural productivity, leading to food shortage and price. Because of climate change, there will not be food in Nigeria, and that's the main reason. We know the price of food in Nigeria now. So we all know the price of food in Nigeria now. We all know that there is hunger in the land, and this is because of climate change. So ways to prevent climate change, we have learn how to recycle properly. All these bottles, in a way we can recycle them. We have diverse fossil fuel from first. We can use solar instead. So we can use solar instead of using fuel. Instead of only generator, all these fuel they are always used for generator. You can use solar instead. Then we can green up your communities. Like you can start planting trees to green up your communities to prevent climate change. So this is what I said the other day, that you can use solar panels instead of generators and other source of energy. In conclusion, let's build a safe and healthy environment for ourselves and our future generation. Thank you for listening.
So, we're talking about the effect of I'd like to give us the International Union for Conservation Commission released serves as a staff member of the care set of our planet wildlife. Species like the African elephant, cheetah, and giant panda, once abundant in their natural habitat, are now suffering on the edge of extinction. These majestic creatures are not just symbols of the wild. They play a crucial role in maintaining the delicate balance of our ecosystem. Not just this one. We are not talking about the ones that are popular. If we are talking about the most endangered aquatic mammal, which is Papita, is on the brink of extinction. They have about maybe like 10 numbers around the whole world. Now, we would like to give us what are vulnerable and endangered species. Vulnerable species are at high risk of extinction in the wild. Example, cheetah. They are fast, but they are facing habitat loss due to the loss of their habitat through deforestation. And we have the endangered species. They are very high risk of extinction. For example, we have the black rhino, victims of poaching and habitat loss. This poaching is of high demand. They are demanding the horn of black rhino. That's the main reason why they are going on hunting for the animals. And they are through that they are going towards extinction. They have the causes of endangerment, which are the habitat destruction and fragmentation. But here we have the pictures that illustrate the dead trees because of acid rain in the forest. And here we have you can see the animals there. They are already at loss because they've lost their habitat to deforestation. So here, as the human population increases, we use more land for agriculture, cities, and towns, which leads to habitat destruction, degradation, and fragmentation. Pollution or climate change. This is the result of water pollution, which subjects the aquatic animals to danger, and which may lead to their extinction. Overexploitation and poaching. Overhunting and overfishing. This can replace population of vulnerable species, making them more susceptible to extinction. We have wildlife trafficking and poaching. The illegal wildlife trade, including poaching and trafficking, is a significant threat to many vulnerable species, thus driving them towards extinction. What this is actually talking about is that, overhunting of those mammals, of those animals, are actually driving them towards extinction. Like I said, there are the cheetah and the guaguita. They are due to overhunting and overfishing is what is actually driving them towards the brink of extinction. And when we are talking about wildlife trafficking and poaching, we are talking about the black rhino, the elephants, and stuff like that. They need their skin for leather production and other stuff like that. So moving on to the next slide, impact on ecosystem. This whole species whose survival impacts many others. Example, bees, pollinator critical for plant reproduction. And bees also serve as the high production for honey. Without bee, there won't be honey, and honey serves a lot of benefits for like human life. Then we have the ecosystem imbalance. Loss of species leads to overpopulation of other species affecting food chain. Success story. Conservation success story. Dan Prada rebounding due to intense conservation effort. American bald eagle removed from endangered list due to habitat protection and pollution control. Then down to my conclusion. In conclusion, the vulnerability and endangerment of species on our planet is a call to action. It is a call to preserve the intricate tapestry of life that sustains us all. Let us rise to this challenge with urgency, compassion, and commitment. For in protecting the vulnerable and endangered species, we are safeguarding our own future. Thank you for listening.
Food is beautiful, food is aesthetic, food is a freaking of nature. It is a unique product compared to other synthetic materials. And that's why I'll talk about wood as an important green product from cradle to green. And I'll be specifically talking about the scientific lifestyle of my name is about Wood is the natural organic substance gotten from woody plants or trees. And it is tissue, it is biodegradable, it is volatile, versatile, it is recyclable. And this makes it a very unique product compared to many other synthetic materials. Talking about the value of wood, we are simply talking about the beginning of the life cycle of wood. And basically, when we take down value, we are as foresters. Our job is to take care of. And talking about how this is going, of course, we are going to come to an end of this good one. And talking about the wood can either end up in two ways, either recycling or resources. So we recycle this wood. This is a very environmental friendly decision to make us recycling. We so I employ everyone here to recycle our wood. And then wood also can get decomposed. So sustainable benefit of course. Wood is beneficial to us compared to many other materials, rubber, plastic, name it, wood is very beneficial to us. And in conclusion, when we source for this wood and we use them reasonably, of course, we are going to enjoy our environment and please I employ us all to avoid over-exploitation.
Topic: forest contribution to global health. As a forester, let me talk about forest dynamics. Talking about the constant change and interactions due to time, with respect to time. Forest actions and interactions happens with respect to nature, but after the human intervention, it later changes. Why? Because human doesn't make use of the forest product and even not maintaining it. Let me talk about forest as a source of nutrition. Since the existence of human, the forest has been a place of abundant nutrition due to its perfect availability. This means animals, or let me say fauna species, they tend to eat or consume whatever they like due to their sense of taste, their choice, but most especially palatable staples. What I mean by this is that they take whatever is
very favorable to them due to their taste. Forests serve as home to about 80% of the world flora and fauna, meaning their activity, day-to-day activities, are being carried out within the forest. 25 of modern medicine are derived from rainforest plants. Do you know that? No. But even if you know, no. Did you know if a researcher, Ogona et al., he deduced that from his research, he was able to recognize that there is a species of Elina chlorantha, which is being used for malaria remedy. When I mean by remedy, it means it doesn't cure it. Even some anti-inflammatory, as well as the sunburn remedy, which aloe vera is used for, and pain relief remedy, which we have willow species or willow tree, which is Salix alba. Okay. Let me talk about the forest contribution to global health as watershed protection. Did you know most of the water you see around us are also producing oxygen, even at higher rates than we thought, even more than trees. But people don't tend to look into that. Soil erosion. This forest tends to protect soil from erosion, and it also mitigates climate change. Natural forest has been the native, has been the nature, but due to human action, the forest reacted to it. Thank you.
This semester titled Forest Contribution to Global Health. Here I'll be exploring the vital role of forest in human and planetary well-being. Introduction. Forest covers 31% of land areas, hosting an immense variety of life. I believe without forest, there is no earth. I believe forest is the lungs of the earth. And here we have provide critical ecosystem service essential for sustaining life on the earth. Forest provides a lot of roles like for habitat function and all. So for my key contribution here, we have include nutrition, we have climate civilization, we have medicinal resources. So first of all, we have the air purification. Forests act as the lung of the earth by absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. Sorry, I want to explain. A human being without a lung, I think the person can't function. So without forest in our earth, I believe there is nothing possible. It's earth. According to the chart here, you can see the rate at which carbon dioxide is being released by different things we do on earth. We see from industry. Forests take that carbon dioxide, digest it, and release oxygen. It's trees filter harmful pollutants such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and particulate matter. So we have for climate regulation. I've seen all my friends have been talking about climate. What is social climate? I think it's deforestation, and I'll be explaining here. You see, let's go to my second point. It says they influence global temperature and rainfall pattern. As you can see temperature, you can see in the first picture, a city without trees. See how hot it is, and you can see what trees are providing shade and stuff like that. And also, it contributes to rainfall pattern, like through transpiration, through evapotranspiration, and all. So next, we have medicinal purposes. Here, most of what we have been using here are gotten for trees. You can see the uses of from forest. We have quinine for treating malaria. We have cattle for cancer treatment, and so on. Forest provide a lot of advantages that help us in this world. So we have mental and physical health. Well, look, there was a scenario I was about that. People were in the hospital, and some of them were divided. They were divided into some of them were left in the hospital, the other were taken to face nature. And according to him, said those people that were facing nature tend to respond more to treatment than those in the hospital. So now we have biodiversity. Yes, we go to forests. Forests are home for 80% of terrestrial animals and plant species. Forests provide homes for birds, divers of species. Without forest, I believe this animal will be disturbing us, and we will be able to do more. Because of forest, they have their own home and everything. So we have call to action. We have protecting forests is essential for global health and sustainability. What are the steps to do this? We have the first thing is deforestation. We don't know what deforestation is. We have planting of trees and stuff like that. And a quote by Funding says, a nation that destroys itself destroys itself. Like without the forest, what's law? There's nothing for us. Thank you. What are the steps to do this? We have the first thing is deforestation. We don't know what deforestation is. We have planting of trees and stuff like that. And a quote by Funding says, a nation that destroys itself destroys itself. Like without the forest, what's law? There's nothing for us. Thank you.
There is an observation who owns that one? Okay, it's not picturing. Yes. So can we move on to the next one now?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. Who is Olani Rachel from the Department of Forestry and Wildlife Resources. I'm here to present the topic, which is Forest in Human Cultural Heritage. The subtopic is exploring the intersection of nature and culture. I want us to follow me as I'm giving out the point. What is forestry? Forestry is the science and craft of creating, is the science of planting, conserving and management of forests and woodland and other forest resources which are regarded as non-timber forest resources for human and for the benefit of man and environment. So these are important on forestry. You can check this slide. It helps in controlling of erosion. It helps in provision of food, provision of timber, provision of employment opportunity, and it helps to provision of oxygen, which is regarded as fresh air, and provision of clean air. So I move on to overview of the relationship between forestry and cultural heritage. Like, have you ever imagined how life could have been without forestry? Like, forestry open up indigenous knowledge to people. It open us knowledge to indigenous people on how to use forest resources in such a way that it will be sustainable and it will not lead to wastage of resources. Forest often hold spiritual significances and future in cultural rituals and folklore. Like diverse back to our secondary school, we have read a literature titled Ọ̀dájú Ọ̀dẹ̀mẹ́rin Gbòòrò Knowledge. So it's forest that constitute us to able to have more knowledge about this. So it also has historical significances. Forest have historical information and supplies information that will be able to know more about wood that are strong enough to be used, like for construction. There are some wood that we have to go for, like Melissa Osetsa, which is regarded as Iroko, and other wood that are not very strong. It's through forestry that we are able to know this. And also, it also provides essential wood for building, construction homes, ship and infrastructure. So if you see the slide, we see lots of wood and the use of wood, what they use wood to construct. So these are logs cabins which are gotten from wood. So it also provides economic and craft impact. So forest supply job opportunity for people, all this kind of wood that we sat on, is some people work. There are some experts that are able to bring about this. They are the ones that think about what we can use wood for to create tables, chairs, and other material that we need at home. So woodworking tradition reflects cultural identity and artisanal skills. So I'm here with one forest product which is regarded as cotton coal. I think it's all we people that will be familiar ourselves with this. Like without this cotton coal, we know how we can do our year and to be fit like that. So this product is from the forest. So likewise, it curates biodiversity conservation and art. So forests contribute to cultural landscape and biodiversity. It gives knowledge about the classification of living organisms in the forest. Likewise, they inspire art and literature, embedding cultural narrative. For instance, The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Woodburn. So this story is about how trees communicate in the forest. So it's through the cultural heritage that we are able to know these stories. So call to action. So honor our forest, like by educating, support conservation, advocate for protection, and celebrate this heritage. Like when we celebrate this cultural heritage, it will help to be able to pass this information to other people, because it's some people that sit down and think about this, and that's why we are able to have this knowledge. Like if you did not contribute to that, there is no how we'll be able to have this knowledge about it. So together we can cultivate a deeper appreciation for our forest and ensure they will remain a vital part of our cultural heritage. So act now, not tomorrow, to protect these invaluable resources for generations to come. So in conclusion, forest is deeply embedded in human history and identity, influencing social, economic, spiritual aspects of life. Thank you for listening.
Beautiful, food is aesthetic, food is a gift of nature, and it is a unique product compared to other. That's why I'll talk about food as an important green product compared to grain. And I'll be specifically talking about the scientific life cycle of food. My name is Obafemi Omonelaitis. Food is the natural organic substance gotten from woody plants or trees. And it is tissue, it is biodegradable, it is volatile, it is versatile, it can be recycled. And this makes it a very unique product when we compare it to many other synthetic materials. Talking about the value of wood, we are simply talking about the beginning of the life cycle of wood. And basically, when we talk about value, we are, as foresters, our job is to take care of wood right from the seed and up to the stage, up to the seedling, up to the sapling, and up to when it gets to a fully matured tree. Before now gets ripe for harvestation. And while we are foresters, our main job is to care and nurture for these trees And these are practices, we call our practices cultural practices. And these practices are ways in which we take care of this place. And all of these cultural practices, we have a lot of practices, but I'll talk about these. And these are pest and disease control management. We have to, of course, take care of the trees so that they don't get damaged by pests and diseases. And then we have something we call thinning. And thinning is done when we remove trees from a particular stand to give more space and to ensure that we reduce competition among the trees so that you can get enough nutrients to grow a very good and healthy tree. And we have something called pruning. This is when we cut particular parts from a tree so that this tree, we grow trees for different purposes. And our purpose is determine the way we take care of these trees. For instance, we are going for trees for electrical code. Of course, you want a tree that is tall and straight. So we cut down particular parts of these trees to ensure that we have a very straight. Now, this takes me to the harvesting stage. And harvesting is usually done when we go to our sites, cut down the trees, transport them from the site to our sawmilling site. And aside from milling, we have what we call wood processing. Now, under this wood processing, it depends on what we want to use our wood for. The processing depends on what we want to use this wood for. So, we have some processes, but I'll talk about three, which first of them is the planting. For purposes like lumber, timber, we have to debug this wood because our back are not really useful for us. So yeah. Another process here is sawmill, and this is cutting down these trees into different sizes and lengths. We have coating. Coating is done when we add chemicals to it so that our pests and diseases will get into and avoid the breaking down of this wood and the competition and everything. And we have sanding to make our wood glossy and shiny. Then we have the product life cycle. We have a lot of products you can get from wood. We have the pulp and paper, the furniture, the roofing, the rock and the flooring, and many more. And this purpose is determine the kind of care and nurture and processes that we get. And talking about primary to grade, of course, we are going to come to an end of this wood life. And talking about grade, wood can either end up with recycling or decomposing. So we recycle this a very environmental friendly decision to make up recycle. So I encourage everyone here to recycle our wood, and then wood also can get decomposed. Sustainable benefit, of course, wood is beneficial to us compared to many other materials, rubber, plastic, name it, wood is very beneficial to us. And in conclusion, when we source for this wood and we use them reasonably, of course, we are going to enjoy our environment and trees that employ us to avoid over-exploitation.
My name is Aneka Polina. I'll be presenting on the topic related to men of nature who are climate fighters. Can you hear that? The sound of the planet screaming for help. The warning signs are all around us. Rising temperature, loss of biodiversity. But in the face of this crisis, there are heroes emerging. Before I proceed, I'd like to define the crisis itself, climate change. Climate change refers to long-term alteration in the Earth's climate pattern, especially the rise in global temperature and the shift in weather conditions. The consequences of climate change include global warming. The Earth is getting hotter because of pollution from things like vehicles, factories, rising temperature, impact on ecosystem and biodiversity. Climate change affects the plants, animals, and natural places. Animal, for instance, may lose their home as a result of changing temperature. Extreme weather events like hurricane, wildfires, heat wave make bad weather worse. Sea level rise. The earth is getting hotter. When the earth is getting hotter, ice melts and water level rises, leading to flooding and affect area near ocean. The last one is ocean acidification. Oceans are getting acidic as a result of absorption of too much carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, leading to
loss of organic aquatic organisms like coral reefs. Why climate is changing? Climate is primarily driven by human activities that increase the concentration of greenhouse gases that trap the heat, leading to warming of the planet. Why do we need to fight climate? Climate is causing extreme weather, rising temperature, and loss of biodiversity. In which all of this threaten our economy, our food security, even our health and resources. With this escalating risk, it is essential to fight against climate change to protect our future and ensure a sustainable world. What makes a climate fighter? A climate fighter can be anyone who takes action to combat climate change. To protect our future, they may be community, leader, policymaker, scientists, even everyday people. Now let's take a look at the legendary climate fighter. The first one on my side is Professor F.T. Babalola, the HOD of Forestry Resources Management. He founded the State Sahara Network. It combats climate change by planting trees and also promote the efficient use of cooking stove to reduce deforestation and carbon emission. Another one is Wangari Maathai, Woman of Tree. She founded the Green Belt Movement. She planted over 50 million trees to combat deforestation across Africa entirely. John Muir, father of national parks. He established national parks in United Nations, especially Josemite, advocating for preservation of wilderness area. Another one is Chico Mendes, the builder of the Amazon forest. He fought to protect the Amazon forest against deforestation. Greta Thunberg, the voice of a generation. He is popular for a school strike for climate movement in 2018, urging the government to take action against climate change. Sir David Anteboro, storyteller of the earth, his documentary, through his documentary, he raised awareness about the impact on climate change and biodiversity loss. Dr. Nimo Basse, the voice of the voiceless. He is a Nigerian environmentalist who has dedicated all his life to fighting against environmental degradation and climate change. Others include Bia Namugawa, the Green Girl, Fatou Dieng, the founder of the Clean Earth Gambia. She is the climate activist from Gambia, fighting to protect our community from rising sea level and draws for climate justice at global level. Other climate fighters include Dr. Jim Anson, Professor Wole Soyinka, Nam Clean, Mary Robinson, Tim Flannery, and others. How can you be a climate fighter? By supporting local environmental organizations and initiatives, by reducing your carbon footprint, by being an advocate for climate policy, to promote renewable energy and promote advocate for climate policies, by minimizing your waste, recycle it and choose an eco-friendly product. By planting trees and protect nature, educate yourself and others on the impact of climate change. Now, conclusion and call to action. Climate fighters like Wangari Maathai, as mentioned earlier, show us that one person can make a difference. The fight continues and now it's our turn to fight against this crisis. Call to action. Let's ask now. Every small action can start today to protect our future. We all can be a climate activist. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my esteemed colleagues and to the lecturer and My name is Elizabeth, and I'm here to present to you a topic that is titled Existing Local Solution to Climate Impact and the Way Forward. I don't know that this is something that they are existing rules, they are existing ways to act and people. So this morning, I'll be taking us through this topic. Climate change is a serious issue that we need to take action very, very fast, because we cannot keep on neglecting the changes that we are seeing around us and saying it does not have any impact on us. It does, because our climate is changing and this is bringing degradation to everything around us and it's causing harm to us as well. So this morning, I would like to say climate change refers to the long-term warming of the planet due to increase in average global temperature, and is primarily caused by we humans, by the activities we carry out in our daily life. So this morning I'll be telling you about some human activities that we do, and we all know the activity because we ourselves engage in this activity. Number one is burning of fossil fuel. As you can see on the slide, we can see this industry which has burning out, and we can see the suits coming out of it. These suits, people living close to this place, they find it difficult, and they might know and they might not know as well. But those who know, it affects their health. To those who do not know, they don't know it affects their health, but it does. We can see deforestation and land use changing. We can see cutting down of trees that absorb carbon, trees that are supposed to store this carbon, that are supposed to like recycle and keep our environment, keep our air purified. We can see agriculture and livestock production. We can see this enhance and it gives us the room to rear our livestock and everything. But still, in this context, all these things that we do, it affects the natural way in which our climate is supposed to function. Moving on, I would like to take the climate change impact on environment. We can see here on the slide, we can see the rise in sea level. You can see when there is climate change, people tend to migrate due to the unfavorable condition of the particular environment they are. You can see water scarcity. As we look at this slide, you can see the map of where water is being scarce. You can see there are little and no area that there are some areas that we don't even have water at that environment. You can see it there on the slide. So I'll move to local solutions and their importance. As I said, there are existing solutions to climate change. There are existing solutions to this impact. And one of these existing solutions is ecosystem restoration. Ecosystem restoration, we can do this by planting of trees. We can do this by bringing our environment to create more access and to create more carbon sinking activities through planting of trees. We see waste reduction and management. Waste reduction and management, we human beings we can just go outside and dump our refuse anywhere without even caring about how it's going to litter the environment. And also burning of this waste, it have impact and effect on our health. You can see policy support. Policy support, this is in those days and even till now, there are policy support that has given us this opportunity, like from our government giving us this opportunity on how to take care of our climate and all. Moving on, I would like to tell the importance of this stuff. We have reduced greenhouse gas effect. We have it improves human health and well-being, and it promotes sustainable development and economic growth. And the way forward, we can scale up existing solutions through policy support, financing, and community engagement. We can also encourage community participation. We human beings can participate in so many activities to bring and to bring back our climate. We can emphasize climate justice by prioritizing vulnerable communities and ensuring equitable access to resources and benefits. In conclusion, existing local solutions to climate impact, they are crucial for sustainable future. And I'd like to take this quote by Greta Thunberg, and it says, the climate crisis is not only a problem for the future, it's a problem for we today as well. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to talk about this beautiful topic, global food chain in the face of climate change. And what is global food chain? Global food chain is a complex network of interconnected systems, which involves production, processing, distribution, and transportation of food products globally. That is around the globe. So I only wanted to split it into comparative analysis, that is global food chain versus local food chain. There's no time, so I just have to rush through very fast. So the characteristics of global food chain. The first characteristic is global reach. That is, how can this forest product, how can it be transported from place to place? Sometimes you have to cross borders. How can these stuffs get to consumers? And the next one is diverse input. That is availability of land, labor, water, other working facilities like that to enhance production of products. And the last one is multiple force. That is, how can this operation be fast? This includes the farmers, the processors, and distributors, and it's like that. So other characteristics move to the advantage. Once these characteristics are put in place in the best order, the first advantage, that is the first benefit that you can get from this is increased food availability. That is, there will be food in surplus manner. There won't be shortage of food, there won't be complaint, conflicts, there won't be stuff like that. Then the next one is low price. Food, like that is the products, when they are being sold, they won't be too expensive to get. They are not economical. So it's not going to be too expensive to get. So, and there's something that has advantage that won't have disadvantage. So disadvantage is this one. The first one is the environmental impact of climatic change on it. So high carbon footprint due to transportation and industrial agriculture. That is the operation. That is from the process of transportation and everything. Then loss of nutritional value due to floods, droughts, and or this washing away of the topsoil. So you need to wash away the products. If climatic change is really evident on it. Then vulnerability to disruption. At least global supply chains can be disrupted by factors like climatic change, diseases that is building on those crops on the soil surface. So there are challenges that we face in this process. The first one is that the global food chain faces rising temperatures, that is hotness of surroundings and precipitational change pattern, and more frequent extreme weather events like that, cracking on the soil, and their own food availability throughout. So the key impacts of climate change on the global food chain, that is, what is it costing? What is it really costing on the global food chain? The first one is reduced agricultural productivity. There won't be enough production of agricultural products. Second one is increased food prices. You know, when there's no surplus food, there will be increase in the price, in food prices. That is the little that are being sold. They will be expensive. And food shortages and insecurity. Food insecurity is when there's limitation to what people can get, to how they can feed food around them, and it can actually lead to conflicts. Migration, I think when they feel they can't cope, they have to migrate, move to somewhere else to source for their food. So we have strategies that used to actually suppress these impacts, which are sustainable agricultural practices, as is division of labor, and a proposed technological method to make work faster. Then diversification of crops and livestock, that is, the crops production should be reduced and the vulnerability to climate-related shocks. So the future of food. If we want to have a bright future of food production and the bright future of our country.
My name is David, and I'm talking of public strategies that African farmers will face on the changing climate. As you all know, everyone has talked about forest, but going into the agricultural sector. As we know, Africa as a whole, agriculture is one of our richest diversity that we have as a continent. And what is climate change? Climate change refers to long-term warming of the planet due to an increase in average global temperature, which are mainly caused by human activities such as carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. So, I'll be talking on Africa. So, I'll be picking different countries in Africa to talk about. So, this is Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, you can see that their land is deserted. They have come up and they resist this desertification and rehabilitate. So, we can see the example of Zai pit. This is a pit whereby they used manure and topsoil to mix together and put the plants inside of it so that it will not easily soak in the water because of the desertification that they have in their environment. We can see here they have, that's why I talk about cultivating manure in septic tanks to use as fertilizer. Instead of them buying fertilizer in huge amounts, they use septic tank instead. And they plant trees around their environment. Secondly, I'll be talking about Tanzania because I'm talking about Africa. So I'll be picking countries, different countries. This is Tanzania. They will be changed because we can see in Tanzania here that they have decreasing crop production. They don't have high yield of production in Tanzania when they are planting. So they will be changing their planting dates. When they see the weather, that the weather is not conducive, they will change the planting dates. And they will produce drought-tolerant crops that are tolerant to drought, such as millet, sorghum. And they will do early planting so as to help them. Because that is their own coping strategies in Tanzania when they are planting. I'll be going to Malawi. We will see that in Malawi, what they are doing here is agroforestry to help them in their planting and to have high yield. Because we can see in Malawi here that they can't predict their rainfall in Malawi. They have unpredicted rainfall. So how can they help themselves? They will plant different kinds of crops together, such as agroforestry, to help them in Malawi to grow up their plant. That's one of their coping strategies in Malawi. And they have the high temperature. So agroforestry is what they look at as one of their key issues to deal with. Sorry. Yeah, we'll be going to Kenya. As you can see, this is a picture of Kenya land. They have a very strong land. Their land does not easily yield. So they go into agroforestry, and one thing they do is they grow up their indigenous fruits, such as pigeon, pea, yam, and climb bean. So we see permaculture here. Permaculture is one of the ways that they use when they are growing their trees. So, and permaculture means ecosystem sustainability. So how can they sustain their ecosystem? That is what Kenya are doing, and agrobiodiversity. So we're going to the Sahel region of Africa. So as we know in the Sahel part that it is mainly deserted. And mixture of trees and crops. So when they mix the tree and crops together, the tree, what the work of the tree do is to shield the crops so that the sun will not eat the crops more. So that is what they are doing here. And you can see the pictures of what they do here. Sahel region of Africa. And here they are still doing the zero tilling. So that they will not till the ground, so as not to disturb the ground when they want to grow their crops. Then here we have South Africa. They produce tea because tea has high yield in their land. Because of my time. This is Nigeria. I will be going to the northern part of Nigeria because of drought. So they employ copy mixture. They mix crops together. And such as sorghum, and they plant cassava and quick maturing cowpea that can easily grow. And this is Bangladesh, where they produce red amaranth. And intercropping is what they use here because of our time. So I'll go to my conclusion, which means coping strategies. This is a show of a coping strategies in Africa, how they manage, how their land is and to grow. And one of the things that we must, as a country, okay, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, panel judges. My name is Paul. I'm here to speak on the topic that says global emission and the goal of performance. First of all, let's get to know the meaning of emission. Emission is the release of toxic gas, which includes carbon dioxide, methane, and other poisonous gases that are not good for human health. When we give out this global one, speaking on the fact of the global, it consists of the one that has to do with the whole world. It refers to the total amount of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and that is released to the atmosphere by human activities worldwide. This is as a result of many industries. Let's take a look at countries like China, which has the highest rate of global emission release, which have about 12.67 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide, and Russia stands at the fourth, who have 1.9 metric tons of this.
And all the release of this gas is very, very toxic and unhealthy for humans. And coming down to Africa, our own, we believe that South Africa has the highest number of the release of carbon dioxide, while Egypt comes second, while our country, Nigeria, is the third. Looking down to our country, we already know that the states like Lagos, Port Harcourt, and oil refinery states are the major cause of all this. Now, the causes of emission, burning of fossil fuel. This is as a result of the composition of coal, oil, and natural gas, especially when we go to the region whereby oil exploitation is. You will come to realize that the way by which that environment is not really life conducive, because they really mess up many places, and it's making the life of people, citizens there, very unbearable. That is deforestation. When we come to the form of deforestation, we understand the fact that forests help us to hide this toxic carbon dioxide. Then when we go to the forest to destroy them again, it's like giving a cat the food and taking it back from it. That is, we try to hide our pains within the forest, but we end up taking back that pains from the forest and releasing it back to ourselves. Because when we go to deforestate, we bring down all those gases. Those carbon dioxide that are stored between those forests leave the forest and come back to the atmosphere, which is very toxic. Agriculture, the use of most chemicals, the use of fertilizer, release all this toxic industrial process. Companies, all they release. Take an example, the company we have here in Unilorin, 7-Up and Coca-Cola. When you go there, when you see them burning out gas, those gas are really toxic. But as Nigerians, we don't take that serious. Waste management, improper use of waste, the way we manage our waste. Because maybe coming to think of it, somebody will just wake up one morning and decide to burn waste that is causing nuisance to the community. Because when they burn this waste, the gas becomes a trouble to us. And we should not forget the fact that some people are very allergic to this gas. Some people are very allergic to this smoke. Just like an asthma patient is very allergic to dust, some are also allergic to smoke. The effects of global emission, air population. Coming to look at the picture, we see the fact of oil processing gas. We see that this release very high percentage of gas onto the atmosphere. And believe me, anyone living close to this environment will find it unsuitable or unbearable. Looking at this, we also saw the fact that it affects our environment, the climate change, the emission is also a problem today. Climate change in the country, the water quality. Water quality is being affected by this. Food security. When this stop the sunshine from meeting the plant is unable to develop. So in my conclusion, I would say we should try everything possible to avoid that. We improve air quality standard and enhance that. We do everything possible to make that air is being purified and necessary for human health.
That's interesting. So by the order of the program, we have taken the context proper, which is in itself is the crux of why we are here. The next very important exercise to follow is the selection of winners. And I'm sure you are eager to know who are the top contenders for the various prizes that we have. So, you give us a few minutes to put our scores together.
Another one, which is people's choice to be done by the students. So we send out writing material. So you pick your best presentation of the best presenter. And that will form the people's choice award. So the judges will pick the winner and the first runner-up. while the audience, yeah, the students, the audience will pick people's award for the best presentation according to how you see the presentations. Thank you, everybody. Who is presenter? Who is presenter? Justina.
Performances, and we followed strictly the criteria as drawn up by the convener. There are some of you who will have scored very high mark, except for the address. It's quite unfortunate. There is this observation when you are making presentation and you are saying stuff like that. That's colloquial. What do I call it? Colloquial. It's informal. It's informal. How you say stuff like that? In a formal presentation. Please take note of these things for future events. Then, of course, you need to mind your tenses. I'm not going to cite example because I don't want to offend anybody. The fourth observation, your time management. Some of you fell flat with respect to that. And of course, mannerism. That is closely associated with the use of stuff like that. Some of you were showing element of overconfidence. We could see it, and we were able to judge you negatively, even with that. Okay? And of course, the last one that I have noted is the use of microphone itself. There are some people, the moment they see the way you hold the microphone, they can score you. So learning the art of holding microphone itself is an important art. Some of you never knew how to use the microphone. I'm using the microphone properly, I guess. This is a small room. Even without microphone, we should be able to hear ourselves. But there are some of the contestants who are holding microphone, and we were just struggling to hear what they were saying. So please take note of all of these things moving forward. And I want to believe you are doing so. I will hand over the microphone to Professor Simono to tell us how this our attention to a number of observations. Professor Simono will be making the announcement of the first, second, and third position.
We have chosen our first three from this contest. I want to start with number 3 position. Number 3 position. And I don't have the name, but I will read out. It's even good like that. I will read out from the title. So the third position is goes to the person who presented the topic. Wildlife conservation and ecotourism, a game changer for national development. Please step outside. Please, let's appreciate her once again. The second position goes to the presenter that presented the topic. the legendary man of local. Please, let's appreciate our work again. Yes, the overall winner. Person that took the first position. The person that had the highest score is the person that presented the title. The title, building a residence Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate the three of them. Now, the people's choice. Don't know whether the person is among the three. No.
We don't know.
It's interesting. That means we have 4 winners. We have the first, we have the second, we have the third, and the people's choice is by name, not by topic this time around.
I'm not seeing the app.
And the person is a female. It's a female, so I'm using spelling method now. So the male, you know that you are not the people's choice. The person. So the person is the presenter that presented the topic, energy crisis in the era of
Do I have anyone or two who would like to make 1 or 2 remarks? 1 or 2 remarks. Come and give us a speech. Just say 1 or 2 things. How do you feel? What's your impression?
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for this privilege. I feel better. I feel like my hard work is got up what at some point I wanted to opt out of the contest because I was feeling I can't do it. But thank God for friends, my classmates, that motivated me. it was really not that I was success, it was for everyone. I remember when people enter my DM, motivating me, my friends. My course was amazing. After sending the encouraging message this morning, I want to give this one. I want to say a good time.
You can cry, you can cry.
I don't have anything to say. I just have to say, I thank the God.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say a very big thank you to our moderators. Thank you so much. And to my fellow colleagues, thank you so much for this great privilege. And just as the winner said, like, I already thought myself, this morning I didn't plan to come for this contest, just as people did not, the leader ended up not showing up. So I already planned that maybe I won't be able to make it because I was feeling so down and yeah, you came late. But the thing is that I did not prepare. Although we had a long time to prepare for this, but then I just sent my slide this morning and a lot of things. So I believe I can do better. So the thing is that. So thank you so much. And just as Rina said, anything that is committed to our hands, it is an opportunity for us to be choosing to come and participate in it. So let us do it with our best. Let us try and bring out the best in us.